This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the news. Well, Benzino loves Eminem. Okay, that's for sure. Eminem has lived rent-free in Benzino's mind. He's still going on saying people are soft as cupcakes. He's goofy. You're goofy. Blah blah blah. He's losing himself with Eminem. It's actually sad. Benzino really did, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, he abused his relationship with the source. He was part owner, used it to help his rap career, used it to go against artists he didn't like, and it was just a misuse of power, and it resulted in the end of the source. I mean, you went up against, you had 50 Cent, Eminem, Dr. Dre all against the source, and at that time they were the guys, you know, so wasn't a good look. Anyways, sad it's still going on in 2020. NORE takes a stand against DJ Vlad. He wants all his videos removed. Now, I understand what's going on with Vlad. You know, he didn't apologize for, you know, the minister stuff and misquoting him and everything, and that resulted in Lord Jamar, My Son, Royce the 5'9", a lot of people going against him. You gotta apologize when you misquote somebody, okay? Now, Vlad just does his job, and these people all loved him before, but I understand, trust me, okay? You gotta admit when you're wrong. You have to. And Vlad won't do that. Vlad won't apologize, so some people were taking a stance. Now, NORE's about 4 weeks late to the party. My Son, Lord Jamar, Royce the 5'9", and all, they backed out. NORE's just joining this party a few days ago, and that's normal for NORE because NORE follows trend, okay? NORE loved Vlad before and defended him years ago when he needed the clout. He did the same with the Breakfast Club. He'd always been, I love you guys, blah, 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 you know, you kiss butt, you know, that's what, you know, NORE, I like NORE, but I'm just telling you how it is, the way I see with NORE. This is how he's been his whole career. He follows trend. Okay, he's good. You know, he has his own niche with podcasting, and you know, it's like a Drink Champs type of thing where you drink and but you know, he's following. He did it for. Let's be honest. He did it for headlines. You know, it creates. This is why we're talking about it right now. So yeah, you know, if he can feel how he feels, is Vlad probably going to take down the interviews? Absolutely not. Vlad's about his money, okay? That's obvious. So, J.R. Writer kind of, we already knew this, but he kind of gave more insight on why Dipset broke up. He said that when I kind of got into it, everybody was already kind of doing their own thing, making their own money. You know, you had Jewels had his own crew, making his money. Jim Jones had his own crew kind of for him, making their own money. Camron had his separate crew making their own money. Then, you know, 40 Cal and Hellrell were there. At the same time, they all kind of came in, and J.R. Writer. So everyone was kind of separated already. And Duke the God had his series. And this created separation. They moved together in the beginning, but eventually they started moving separately. Obviously, there was a huge problem at one point, you know, between Jewels, Jim Jones, and Camron, especially when the 50 Cent thing sparked off. I witnessed that happen, you know. Jewels and Jim Jones decided to not roll with Camron, and Camron had just made that move on his own, breaking a deal with Alan Grunblatt at Koch to get some money to go against 50 Cent and to sell some product. And, you know, that was that. But Jim Jones and Jewels went with, they didn't go with 50, they just go with Camron. Jim Jones actually kind of betrayed everything and went on 106 in Park with 50 and showed some alliance, which was a little uncomfortable. The other crew members didn't know what was going on. The unity was lost, and Dipset could have been the longest running crew ever if they had still had unity under one brand. A lot of people don't understand how important it is to stay under one brand, even if you have your own side stuff going on, to stay under one brand. RZA talks about this with Wu-Tang. If they had all stayed together under the Wu-Tang brand, it would have been worth $100 million, but they all broke off and did their own things, and it weakens the brand, especially when there's conflict within the company. And that's what happened. Dipset felt. This is what happened with G-Unit. This is what happens with every crew. It's hard to keep people together, honestly. It's, what? This is why, and this is going to sound crazy, but this is why you don't want to empower people that work with you, because they'll break off and it'll look weak, You want to keep everyone working under the brand. Just pay them what they deserve, But you should keep them working with the brand, and maybe that's the problem. They're not getting a fair enough share for what they feel like they're bringing to the table. And collectively as a company, it would have been worth a lot more. Now, it does take everybody to build a brand like that, but it takes a lot of people to build an Amazon or a Google or, these types of things. So it's hard when ego is involved, and everybody has a voice. And Amazon, you really got Jeff Bezos is the voice, and everybody else is working behind the scenes. With rap, it's different. Everybody has a voice. They're getting their own separate fans and boosting their ego up. It's a weird situation. I wish people could realize that the brand is always way more important. You're never going to break off and create. Very rarely will you break off and create a bigger brand, because people have already bought into the family type environment of that brand, and they feel almost betrayed, I think, when everything breaks apart. It's like a bad breakup and it doesn't feel the same anymore, and you're forced to choose sides. It's sad, So he said that Camron's the only one that could bring them back together, because he's the nucleus. If he calls on people, they'll show up. I agree. But they already made their decision, obviously, when they did the Dipset tape 2 years ago. J.R. Ryder, Hell Rel, none of them were on it. They did their own album around that same time, as they should. I think Cameron already doesn't consider them 100% Dipset. The 100% core members are Joel Santana, Camron, Jim Jones, and Freaky Zeke. Anyways, guys, this is Jordan Tower, JT News. Tell me what you guys think. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys are having a good day and staying consistent. I'll check you guys on the next one.